Hi, this is Soumyan again. Welcome to my Japanese lesson number 44. In the next few lessons, I will discuss particles. Particles mark the parts of speech. Though we covered them as and when required in earlier lessons, we will revisit them over the next few to consolidate our understanding. In this lesson, I will cover the subject markers wa and ga. The focus in the earlier lessons was on nouns, adjectives, verbs, etc. During the 43 earlier lessons, the discussion on particles were dispersed in different contexts. In this lesson, I will bring together all that we learned on a particular particle earlier. Thus, I may be repeating many things. As it often happens, when we start focusing on a niche area, there will always be some distinct new aspects to appreciate. The examples given here build on the general knowledge of other particles, parts of speech, and vocabulary discussed earlier. When I discuss a particle, the focus will be on that particular particle. Other particles that occur in the same sentence will not be in focus. In this specific lesson, we start with the subject markers. There are 3 of them: wa, ga, and mo. We will cover wa and ga in this lesson. Mo will be covered in another lesson. There are other meanings and applications of the words ga and mo. The focus will be only on the application as a subject marker. In Japanese language, there is this practice of using particles. Particles identify the various parts of speech. Usually, they follow immediately after the appropriate word. Often, we have a title for a book which clarifies what the book is about. Similarly, a chapter or a section may also have a heading which provides clarity as to what the chapter or section is about. The subject of a sentence can be thought of as such an indicator of what the topic of the sentence is about. Subject markers are particles that mark the subject. They follow the subject in a sentence or a clause. When you see a subject marker in a sentence, you can immediately understand that the subject of the sentence is the word or words just preceding it. Rather than call them subject markers, some people suggest calling them topic markers. This made my own understanding better, and I recommend this concept to you. The particles wa, ga, and mo signal the subject. A valid Japanese sentence can just consist of a single verb. When the context is clear, other words can be omitted. In the hierarchy of words that can be omitted, the subject has the highest position. It may be in the context of a response to a question, or when the topic has been a subject of discussion for some time, and hence it becomes obvious. Consider the sentence, Watashi wa hon ga arimasu. If the context is clear and the description is to be about what I possess, I can leave out the watashi wa. That would make the sentence hon ga taksan arimasu. If there is further clarity that the description is about my possession of books, I can leave out the word hon also and simply say taksan arimasu. If the discussion was on whether I had books or not, the statement can simply be arimasu. So, don't expect a subject and subject marker in all sentences. Let us look at one application of the particle wa. Wa is a very popular particle. Consider the sentence structure A wa B this. Wa is a subject or topic marker. Wa marks the subject as A by following it. A is the subject. The sentence is about A. B is a statement about the subject. A may be a thing or person or a place. When we say wa is the topic marker, you can think of the part of the sentence that follows wa as a statement about A. What this sentence structure says is, as far as this topic of A is concerned, here is the statement. This is a more universal way of getting the application of wa right. A wa be thus is a statement be thus about the topic A. when the verb is des, which is also known as a copula, it is equal to A is equal to B. A is the thing or person which is the subject of the sentence. A is identified by means of B. B is the identifier. Maybe it says he is a man, or maybe it says A is a dog, or whatever. Right? Look at these sentences. Every one of them has va. The word preceding it is the subject. The words following it are the statement about the subject. Va says subject is to my left and the statement about this subject is to my right. Koreva jam des. This is jam. Jam des is a identifying statement about the subject kore. Watashi wa kimura desu. I am Kimura. Again an identity. Kimura desu is an identity statement about the subject watashi. Hon wa teburu ni arimasu. The book is on the table. Teburu ni arimasu is a location statement about the subject hon. Inu wa niwa ni imasu. The dog is in the garden. Niwa ni imasu is a location statement about the subject dog. Here are some more examples. Kore wa enpitsu de wa arimasen. This is not a pencil. This is not same as a pencil. Identity mismatch. Enpitsu de wa arimasen is the statement about the subject kore. What is not an enpitsu? Kore is not an enpitsu. Watashi wa nipponjin de wa arimasen. I am not a Japanese person. A negative identity statement. Again, the identity description Japanese person does not fit me. Nipponjin de wa arimasen is a statement about watashi. Who is not a Japanese person? Watashi. These two were negative statements, but the negativity is indicated by the verb. The subject marker wa does not play a role in this. Michiko-san wa kaimono shimasu. Miss Michiko is doing shopping, or Miss Michiko does shopping. The activity statement doing shopping is described by Miss Michiko, describes Miss Michiko's activity. Kaimono shimasu is a statement about Michiko-san. Kaimono shimasu is an action statement. Who is doing this action? Michiko-san. John-san wa tennis wo shimasu. Mr. John is playing tennis, or Mr. John plays tennis. Another activity description. When I use this in a statement, I am making an identification. When I use arimasu and imasu in the statement, I may be describing the location. Arimasu and imasu also describe possession. When I use a verb in a statement, I am describing some action associated with the subject. All these form the statement to the right of va. That's the application context and implied role of particle va. When is this particle omitted? When the context is clear, the subject is omitted and hence there will be no subject marker also to be used. Kore wa nan no jam desu ka? What kind of jam is this? Ichigo no desu. Ichigo is strawberry. It says strawberry jam. Kore wa ichigo no jam desu is a perfectly right answer, but so many of the words in this are a repeat of the words from the question. They are known to the party posing the question already, so we don't have to repeat them. So you simply say, leave out all the structural aspects and just say the unique word, you substitute the question word. That's all. You can ignore everything else. Kore wa dare no kasa desu ka? Whose umbrella is this? Dare no means whose. Sensei no desu. Teacher's umbrella. Since whose is the question, use the word with apostrophe s, teachers. In the previous answer, also we had that no, ichigo no, ichigo's jam, okay, strawberries jam. But anyway, we are not covering no in this particular lesson, so we'll skip this. If you are asked to talk about Japanese language, you may go on making many statements with the Japanese language as the starting phrase. But then we really don't do that. We substitute it with the pronoun. We may say it, etc. But then that's in English. In Japanese, you really don't have to even substitute with some other alternate word. you can just ignore it. If the context is clear, you can avoid the subject in order to avoid the repetition. Let us move on to another application. We looked at the application with this. Now let's move on to the application with arimas and imas. We said earlier that in A B this, A refers to a person or thing and B is identified with A. Now let's contrast this with another kind of sentence structure. Eva, B ni, arimas or imas. A is the subject. It is to the left of the particle va. B ni arimas is a statement about A. This statement is to the right of the particle va. B is a place. It is marked by the particle ni. Ni is another particle that identifies a location. Ni means at, in, on, etc. In this context, it's a location marker. Arimas and imas are verbs indicating presence or existence. The meaning is A is present in place B or A exists in place B. More simply, A is in B. Eva B this means A is B. Eva B ni arimas or imas means A is in B. Look at the pairs of sentences. Let us understand how the structures make a difference to the meaning. Hana ya wa soko desu. The flower shop is that place. Hana ya wa soko ni arimasu. The flower shop is located in that place. Kimura-san no heya wa 2階 desu. Mr. Kimura's room is first floor. Kimura-san no heya wa 2階 ni arimasu. Mr. Kimura's room is on the first floor. So when this is used, it equates A and B. When B is a place, it is clearer to use B ni arimas or imas instead of saying B this. Ba worked in the same way as earlier. The word immediately preceding to the left is a subject. Everything to the right of ba is a statement about the subject. There is no difference there. Let us now go to particle ga while continuing on the lines of the previous example. Ga is also a subject marker. Let us see how this is used. Consider the structure B ni ega arimas. This is similar to Eva B ni arimas, which we saw in the previous slide. A is still the subject and B is still the place, as indicated by the particles that follow them. The words seem to be reordered from Eva B ni arimas, with A and B changing their sequence or the order in which they appear. Instead of ba, we use ga as a particle. Why? What's the nuance? Let us examine this translation. The word structure says Hanaya wa soko ni arimasu. Hanaya means flower shop. The translation is the flower shop is there. That's the meaning. We used wa in the Japanese sentence and the article the before the subject phrase flower shop in the English sentence. I have underlined the Japanese particle wa and the English article da. The new structure is soko ni hanaya ga arimasu. There is a flower shop. Used ga in the Japanese sentence and used the article a before the subject phrase, that is flower shop. I have underlined the Japanese particle ga and the English article a. In the first sentence, hanaya is the subject. The subject marker wa is following it. It is in the first place. We translated it to the flower shop. The flower shop. The use of the article the implies the flower shop is already known. We are supposed to be talking about a specific flower shop. In the first sentence, we used wa when the subject came in the first place. Wa is generally confined to the subject in the first place. This is important. When the subject went to the second place, the particle used is ga. However, ga is not restricted from following the subject in the first place. It has no constraints. Only wa has the constraint that it should come following a subject in the first place. Va also implies the subject is already known. It is either well known or referred earlier in the conversation or text. In contrast, ga implies the subject is not known earlier. The speaker notices the subject probably for the first time. When we use va, since the subject is supposed to be well known, the focus is on the other part following va. These are the distinct differences between va and ga. Let us reiterate. Va is used when the subject is in the first place. Ga is used when it is in the second place. Va when the subject is known or the statement is about a subject which is well considered one. Ga is used when the subject is not known. The statement about to be made is a realization. It is not a well contemplated prior knowledge. This is the difference. Let us look at some more applications of the particle ga. We said ga is not constrained to be in any particular place, while va is constrained to be in the first place. So we can use ga in the first place also. Is there a difference? Are there specific situations where ga is used in the first place? Yes. Let us consider the transaction. Imagine this. In a conference I am attending, someone is searching for me. My name is Soumyan. They don't know me by face. They just know my name, Soumyan. They are looking for my name. Some messages come or something like that, and they are looking for me so that they can deliver it to me. Now, the name or the my identity is the starting point for the search. The subject, that is me, is something that they don't know. So they will call out, Darega Soumyan san desu ka? Is anyone Mr. Soumyan? Or who is Mr. Soumyan? I would then respond, Watashi ga Soumyan desu. I am the one who is Soumyan. In both sentences, we used ga. In the question, we had Darega and not Dareva. We discussed earlier that va implies the well-known status of the subject. So, use of va with question words is not appropriate. By asking a question on the subject, the inquirers reveal that they do not know who or what the subject is. Hence, there cannot be any familiarity. A question word followed by the familiarity connoting va would be contradictory. Hence, all question words such as dore, dare, nani, doko, etc. as the subject will be followed by ga and not va. This is the second application. In the response, the emphasis, the one, is provided by ga in this context. Watashi wa Soumyan desu would mean I am Soumyan. Using Watashi ga would mean I am the one who is Soumyan. There is emphasis on the subject I. When we use va, we know the subject. So focus is on what is going to follow, which is the part to the right of the particle va or following va. When ga is used, focus shifts to what precedes the particle ga. The subject is not well known, but what follows is known. The focus needs to be on the not so well known. Va signals focus to what follows. Ga signals focus to what precedes. This is the third application. In the example, the searching official knew my name, but not me, the subject. The statement following ga, my name, was known to them. The subject preceding ga was not known. Let me reinforce the second point related to shift of focus with some more examples. Let us say you are shopping. You look at many pieces of commodity. Finally, you select one from among the many similar items in front of you. The shopkeeper knows that you would choose one of the articles in front of you, but does not know precisely which specific article you will choose. You would say, Korega ii desu. This is the one which is good. Or, Korega hoshi desu. This is the one I desire. Here, the emphasis on a particular piece selected by you will be provided by ga. In summary, we can say, as against va, which keeps focus on what follows, ga shifts the focus to what precedes, that is, the subject it marks. Here is another context in which ga comes in the first place. We build on the premise that when subject pertaining to a statement is not well known, we use ga. This can be useful when we talk of a sensational event, a surprise, that would not have been so very well realized till a short while ago. It is often a context of feeling overwhelmed with some sensation. Let us imagine you have a friend named Jane. To borrow a cliché, let us say she is plain Jane normally. She goes to a beauty parlor one day and gets a distinctly nice treatment and comes back. Though you see her and her normal beauty every day, you may spontaneously find her beauty to be very conspicuous that day. You may explain to your friend, Jane Sanga Kirei desne, meaning, Jane is beautiful, isn't she? Jane is the focus given by Ga. Jane was not unknown in the real sense, but her association with the statement of being beautiful is a lesser realized aspect. That is the sort of expression of sudden realization or feeling we are talking of. You use Ga in the first position to convey this. This kind of a surprise element can be associated with all the five senses. Let us say you sip your beer and find it to be pleasantly chill. You can say, Biruga Sumitaidas, meaning this beer is chill. Note this beer. The focus is on this beer. I would like to caution you here. Sumitai is an adjective meaning chill, cold to the touch. It is not a Thai form of any verb. Let's move to another example. You see someone doing a despicable act such as throwing a shoe at a dignitary you hold in high esteem. You suddenly feel a hatred towards this person. You would say, Anuhitoga Kirai des, meaning, I hate that person. Kirai means hate. The focus is on Anohito, that person. Okay? You don't like that person. You hate him. Adjectives like Sukina, Kiraina, Iyana, etc. are often associated with such sudden expressions of spontaneous feelings of likes and dislikes. So, they mostly take Ga instead of Va. I am yet to cover the application of Va and Ga in the same sentence, and that will be for the next lesson. Let me now wrap up with a summary of what we learned in this lesson. Va was used in the first position. It was restricted to it. However, Ga can be used in the second position as well as the first position. Va followed the subject that was very well known earlier. So it focuses on the part or statement that comes after Va. Va is not used with question words that appear as subjects. Ga followed a subject that was not known earlier, not so very well known. Its use shifts the focus to the subject itself. Ga is the one to be used with question words as subjects. These are the points we note. That brings us to the end of lesson number 44. I will continue the discussion on subject markers in lesson number 45. I will cover the occurrence of both Va and Ga in the same sentence. The next 4 to 5 lessons may continue to focus on particles. This lesson was undertaken in response to requests from a couple of viewers to elaborate on particles. I welcome your feedback on how you found this. I also invite you to suggest what you wish to be covered or clarified. That would form the basis for my adding more content to this channel. Arigatou gozaimashita. Gambatte kudasai. Deva Mata.